This year has witnessed a number of devastating natural disasters. In this issue, we discuss the casualty figures from the earthquake in Turkey and the aftermath of another powerful seismic event in Morocco. According to some reports, the death toll in Morocco is approaching 3,000, and Arab media is reporting that it has already passed that mark. Rescuers are still removing rubble after the deadly earthquake in Morocco, where many houses were built of mud, broken bricks, stone, and untreated wood, worsening the chances of survival under the rubble. However, rescuers are not discouraged and continue their work, paying attention to every opportunity to save lives. We will also hear survivors' stories and the heroic efforts of rescuers in this tragic situation. The magnitude 6.8 earthquake that struck the Marrakesh region has left deep wounds and caused widespread destruction. We will also learn about the international aid offered to Morocco by the EU, UN, and other countries, and discuss the impact of this natural disaster on the region and the world at large. A real tragedy occurred in Libya due to Hurricane Danielle, which brought widespread rainfall and devastating floods. One of the dams in a Libyan city could not withstand the water pressure and collapsed, submerging the city and killing thousands of people. Thousands of others were left unaccounted for. 3 densely populated provinces were severely affected by the disaster. The city of Derna was mainly affected, where heavy rain and strong winds burst dams and water washed away entire neighborhoods. In the south of Derna, dams also broke and water flooded the city of 3 bridges, completely destroying residential neighborhoods. Entire neighborhoods were swept into the sea along with people. A state of emergency has been declared in the 3 governorates of El Baudna, Nalawahat, and El Kufra in the east of the country. The region is not under the control of the internationally recognized government in Tripoli, but it has called for international aid to the country. Turkey has already announced the dispatch of 3 planes with humanitarian aid and rescue workers. Authorities of the interim government in Tripoli have imposed 3 days of mourning, closed schools and stores, and imposed a curfew. In an amazing incident, a street in the Portuguese city of Anadia turned into a real picture. The purple rivers were not blood, but wine. The reason for this unusual phenomenon is the destruction of wine tanks at one of the factories in Portugal. More than 2 million liters of wine poured into the streets of the city from 2 large tanks. Rescuers and workers went to great lengths to collect and transfer some of this wine to a wastewater treatment plant to avoid an environmental disaster. Otherwise, the wine could have flowed into the river and caused serious damage to the natural environment. Interestingly, although there were no casualties as a result of the incident, half the town woke up the next morning with an unforgettable aroma of wine, but apparently none of the residents complained about this unusual hangover. Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un have met in the Far East, where they held a brief meeting at the Cosmodrome in the eastern Amur region. The 2 heads of state gathered at the Launch Vehicle Assembly Test Building where a new rocket is currently being assembled. Interestingly, Kim Jong-un arrived by train at the Cosmodrome's train station. The meeting between these prominent leaders has attracted a lot of media and public attention. Official sources say that this meeting is a clear indication of the strategic importance of bilateral relations between Russia and the DPRK. Against the backdrop of the rocket assembly and installation work, the meeting of these 2 leaders raised many questions and interest in future developments in the region. Relations between Britain and the powerful Eastern power, China, have become significantly strained following the detention of an alleged Chinese spy who allegedly worked in the British Parliament. This high-profile incident has raised serious concerns from the British government. At the G20 summit in India, the British Prime Minister expressed a note of protest, emphasizing his alarm over the whole affair. Sunak believes that interference in the UK's parliamentary democracy is unacceptable and expressed apprehension about further developments. The situation may also have a bearing on the UK's foreign policy and its desire to build a coalition with the US, Australia, Canada, Japan and other countries in the context of the conflict with China. Foreign media report on the UK's attempts to harmonise its approach to China with its partners, which could lead to more complex geopolitical relations in the region and beyond. A political scandal is brewing in the United States that hints at the possible start of impeachment proceedings against the president. Speaker of the House of Representatives Kevin McCarthy called for an investigation, the results of which could lead to the impeachment of President Joseph Biden. The main accusation is that Biden was allegedly aware of his son's business activities but made false claims to the American people. Moreover, it is alleged that the elder Biden was directly involved in these business activities, including phone calls and meetings with his son's associates. As a result, the father's influence allegedly contributed to his son receiving a Porsche sports car as a gift from businessmen. This scandal raises serious questions about transparency and ethical behavior within the American political arena and could lead to long and complex debates and investigations. Police in a U.S. state have encountered an unusual criminal with incredible physical abilities similar to a character from the Spider-Man comics. This fugitive is able to move on walls and even change his appearance. The fugitive was sentenced to life in prison for murder and escaped from prison by climbing over walls. Police have been actively searching for him for over a week now. Interestingly, the fugitive attempted to contact a former colleague, which helped the police get photos of the escapee. In the new photos, he looks quite different, without a mustache and beard and wearing different clothes. The search is complicated by difficult terrain, tunnels and drainage ditches, and unpredictable weather. Police have put out a $20,000 reward for information to help capture the fugitive. This unusual case is attracting public attention and generating interest in the progress of the investigation. On the eve of the world premiere of the new iPhone 15, which was presented in the United States with a broadcast available to viewers from around the world. The main distinguishing features of the new model include the replacement of the Lightning connector with USB Type-C, the reduction of the smartphone screen frames, as well as the main camera with a resolution of 48 megapixels. The iPhone 15 starts at $800 in the US, while the Pro Max models are available from $1,000 and $1,200. This new line of Apple smartphones is attracting the attention of consumers and technology enthusiasts from around the world, and is expected to be a successful product in the mobile device market.